Alright, now then, this is part 6 of me mental health series. I've covered a lot in the first 4 episodes. In the last one, I talked about idealism, conspiracy theories, and how that affected me when I was a lot younger, 25 years ago or thereabouts. But the period that came after that, once I evolved through that, although I'd had, issues with anxiety and certainly feeling low in my life and some weird phases like the idealism that I went through, this period that I'm going to talk about was easily the most sane period of my whole life. It's the one period where I was absolutely stable. Not that I was unstable throughout the rest of my life, but I was just the most fucking mentally attuned. I understood more. I was doing something purposeful for once in my life, something really meaningful, something that kept us focused and fulfilled, and the knowledge I was acquiring was just blowing my mind. It was expanding my mind so much, way beyond anything that had gone before. In fact, it was comparable to when I was in infancy. When you're a very young kid and you're experiencing everything for the first time, and your brain is just absorbing everything long before you become molded by the system to be an obedient worker. Long before that, when you're a kid, you're like 2, 3, 4, 5-year-old. It was like that. Childhood. It was like childhood. I was learning all this new stuff, brand new stuff, that it was so different to anything I'd gone through before, that even time seemed to slow down. It's weird, but when your childhood seems to have lasted forever, well, it was the same with this period of my life. It was only from start to finish, I don't know, 5-6 years, but it seemed to last an eternity. It just went so slow, and I think that's because everything was brand new and like nothing I'd learned before. All these experiences were so profound, so different to anything else that I'd experienced in my life, that my brain had to create new neural pathways to cope with it all. And time, or the perception of time at least, slowed down. I look back at that time in my life and it's like it went on forever, but it didn't. It was a short period of time, really. The years since then have gone like that, and it's weird. I don't know, I can't explain it. I don't know what the science is behind that, but fucking hell. Yeah, I just put it down to the fact I was learning so much that was brand new to me brain. Because Marxism, which is what I'm going to be talking about, Marxism, being a Marxist, being a revolutionary socialist, it's so contrary to everything else that we do in normal life. It's like living on another planet. When I was going to meetings and stuff, it was like being in another world. And I'd come home and I'd have to fit back into my regular world, and it was just so opposite. It's just fucking bizarre, man. Bizarre. But yeah, this kind of followed on from the idealism. I was getting into the anti-war movement while I was still an idealist and a conspiracist. But I came into contact with socialists through the anti-war movement and through linking up with them and going to events that were organised by socialists and reading, material pamphlets and books and what have you. I was taking in all this socialist knowledge, and it just made total sense. I mean, I'd got so far to understanding the world in a small way, but once I became a materialist and understood the material system we live under, capitalism, that was so life-altering, man. Life-altering. Once you understand capitalism, you can't go back. You don't ever go back. There is no going back, because everything that you thought before has been turned upside down, turned inside out. Once you understand the system and how our lives are shaped by it, oh man, it's so profoundly awakening, enlightening, that, well, everything that happened before that in your life just falls away, becomes not irrelevant, but because it's part of the process that led to you getting there, but just less important. Your Marxist awakening is everything. It's everything. It becomes you. That's who you are now. You're a transformed person. Your consciousness is transformed. You're not the same person anymore. You don't see anything in the same way anymore. So naturally you conflict with the people who you knew before. And I certainly did. The mates I'd grew up with, went to festivals with and gigs with and went drinking with and nightclubbing with. I just couldn't be with them. Well, I tried, but I had to try and convince them to understand what I understood, and they couldn't. They didn't want to, for starters, and I couldn't impose it on them. They had to want to understand. So conflicts happened, fell out with people, lots of people, but I entered a new world, I entered the world of the revolutionary organisation, and I ended up in a revolutionary party. And everything I did was geared towards building the revolution. And that went on for about 5 or 6 years. And honestly, it took us over. I went to events in London, I went to demonstrations around the country, I went to conferences, 5-day political festivals where I'd be sat in classrooms learning this shit at a rapid pace, learning revolutionary politics like there's no tomorrow. I was hungry for knowledge, man. Hungry. My brain was just absolutely transformed. The way I thought about everything was just totally transformed. And I became, for the first time in my life, like I said before, properly fulfilled. That was me. I was serving the ultimate purpose. I was a fighter for a better world, for a better society. How can you get better than that? How can you be more fulfilled than that? Your life now is devoted to the revolution that will save humanity. How can you ever replace that? I could never replace that. It was the ultimate level of meaning, the ultimate level of consciousness, the ultimate level of activity. And I thought that would be me forever. I did. I thought that would be me forever. I couldn't imagine ever losing that. But you know what? I lost it. I lost it. After 5 or 6 years, I actually lost it. It was taken away. And it destroyed us, man. It destroyed a huge part of me. And I've never been right since. And I'm going to talk about that in the next episode. But for now, I'm going to have to do a bit of graft by the looks of it. But yeah, being a revolutionary was just the making of me. It was my calling. It was what I was born to do. And I've never felt so complete. And now I'm incomplete, and my behaviour, my mental state, isn't right. It hasn't been right since I was expelled from the Revolutionary Party, and I'll explain it all in the next video, which will be entitled The Abyss, because that's really what it was. See you then. Ta-ra.